recording button, and there these mics are hot. I have lost this button because we're not on the recording one. What's up, gang? There's 3 of us.
Oh, we're just jumping straight
yeah, we're
in?
just jumping straight
yeah.
in. We're doing the movie, except it's gonna be like a short version of the movie because Tom
They
is
say
showing
no
up.
director's cut.
Yeah, this is like the TikTok edition. Bro, we are the roses smell so good, and BT17 kind of smells like ass because it was delayed in the UK again. So yeah, we love Asmodee. We're gonna be talking about
Whoa. You can't say that. Don't bring up Asmodee. You'll trigger Mario's gaming world, okay? He's like,
Asmodee.
it's Bandai's fault.
I mean, it is Bandai's fault because they haven't changed our damn supply yet. But yeah, we're doing a shorter tier list this time with real decks. The tiers are losing as a choice, which is for, you know, your tier 1s. You're gonna go get your Blitz Omni. We got for the strongest soldiers, you know, those 1.5s that on a good day they can come through. We've got Saf and Johnny tier for exactly 2 decks that shouldn't win anything but might because they are there. The deck is fine. £30 max rarity is for the trust me, bro. The deck is so good. It just needs like one thing of support, and then there's just simply brother.
Stinky.
So like, we can just start things off and put like that's it.
Whoa! Excuse me. How are you gonna start off with the wrong pick?
Okay, like for real though, what are we thinking? What are we thinking?
Right. Throw my hat into the ring. I'm just gonna put the obvious choice. Ancient Guru.
Losing is a choice.
Losing is a choice. The fact that like you can either play red base and just have
Everything.
everything you could want to beat the meta game, and then, or you could just play blue base and just have insane consistency engine and such a low to the ground ceiling that interacts with current boards so well is just insane.
There's a lot to say about Ancient Guru, and also like not a lot to say. Like, you know, if I'm trying to keep it low key, you know, like, aha, this deck is fine, guys. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it's so notorious that we don't even have it yet, and Bandai already like we're looking at 3 decks, and the first one is this asshole.
I think like the main thing about this deck is sort of like it's like a Nume deck in the sense of like, well, you have like your core cards, right? Like this is like your Koji package. And then you just fill out the rest with whatever you want, which is like sort of unnatural for like a hybrid deck. Usually hybrid decks tend to follow like a very like set formula of like X amount of tamers, X amount of names, and then like the top end, and like, you know, usually you don't have that much flex. Not this deck. For a hybrid deck, you have, some might say, too much flex.
You can main deck 4 non-color tamers, and it literally will not matter. It is insane.
Also, best of 1 is coming up, and hybrid is notoriously very good in best of 1 because all of their level 3s are things that are gonna stay in the back and will eventually kill you.
So for the rest of the episode, when we say best of 1 is coming up, this is exclusively applying to the UK Glasgow event.
Okay, but there's some happening in NA as well, like store region.
Really?
Like, yeah, we know that there are some events besides us in Wave 3 that are best of 1. So it's
okay.
It's not that like best of 1 is ruining it for us. It's the threat of best of 1 is very real. So just in case with the testers.
So the other thing that I'll say about like Garuru or like Ancient Guru is like, as Jambo said, like you have the blue base, which is like tends to play sort of like, it's like the ultimate mid-range deck. It's kind of like repeatable, like I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and like win through like attrition eventually. The red base, which is just, it's a war crime. And then there's like the Gabu version. I don't know if like
oh yeah, like blue aggro good stuff.
It's a very solitaire, very, I'm just going to combo off in like one big turn, burn 4 security offer for like free memory because I'm refunding it all, and then I'm just going to do it again the next turn if you can't stop the loop now. So
that like version I feel like is particularly hurt by like a few things, like just sort of not like lining up, like scrambles being one of them. Also the fact that version is missing the bond ace, that's something as well that like it doesn't hurt it too much, but it definitely takes away from the deck. But yeah, this deck is tier 1. I don't think it's the best deck in the format, but it is one of the front runners of the format.
I think it's pretty close, and I think, well, I was gonna say like once like the Ukos get hit and like eventually we have a ban list. But like Bandai's most recent stream kind of has me worried that like this is more likely to get hit than Nume. They're like, Nume's probably gonna be fine.
It's not a good sign.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. That Bandai streams, but no hope in me at all. They're like, yeah, top 3 decks are like Ancient Guru, Mother Shota, and then what was the third one?
Imperial
it
or
was Magna. It was Magna.
It was Magna. Like, they're viewing the format that Nume's not even in top 3, and in my opinion, Nume's going to be the best deck in the format.
Won 2 events. Slicks won 2 GAOs on Nume, and they're like, it's fine, bro.
Oh, speaking of the other thing that this deck gets to, sort of like, this deck is also like a culprit of like, okay, this is a hybrid deck that also abuses like the Numes, just like abuses the Ukos, just like Red Hybrid did. But because your top end can be yellow, well, your boss monster being half yellow, half blue, it means that it's a hybrid deck that also gets to go into ruin mode, which is
not normal.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you use the promo Lobo, that Ancient Garuru, which will then, if you convert it into like a ruin, will die at the end of the turn. So forget about -5. You're applying a -10 on the opponent's turn.
Yeah, that is actually making sure that the tech of, I'm just going to start my chain on Beast Spirits, which all the hybrids are doing now. Like, they're going from Beast Spirit into something else. Like, now it's like, you're in trouble. Yeah, not great. But yeah. You could kind of argue that like the same for Red Hybrid, but I think it's kind of like pretty demonstrably like a tier lower.
It just doesn't do enough in comparison. It's like historic that bouncing's always been objectively better than deletion, just due to the graveyard and the hand. Yeah, essentially. Also, it's just like Ancient Guru has like 9 lines of card text. This is just a pop and a set +1. Like in comparison, it's like night and day. The terms of quality between the 2 ancient decks.
It's also pretty. I will say, the off color for Ancient Greymon is purple, and the purple hybrids are much better now. But none of them are on the ban list.
So
Sophie is at 1 and in archetype now for Ancient Garurumon. If your name is not Safwan, you probably ain't doing it.
So the thing with Ancient Guru is like, I think, or like, sorry, not Guru, Ancient Greymon, or like red base, red hybrid, Takuya hybrid, right? Is that technically they did get more support, and as like a supported hybrid deck, they have the most support, but the new stuff is like mostly focused on like going into the Ancient, which is like a fine card. The main issue with the Ancient, in my opinion, is that it doesn't deal passive damage in the same way that the Garuru does, where the Garuru, by a card being added to the hand, whether it's your opponent's or yours, you ping the opponent and you make them bounce the security. This gets its extra damage from its extra security check. However, if you're playing it off of the option, you then have to, that card has to stick for you to be able to convert that extra damage, which is sort of unrealistic. But its bottom end, like the Burning Greymon giving you raid, is like really good, because now it means that Red Hybrid can fight for board without having to commit into things like the Emperor Greymon. You also have piercing with the Takuya, so you have like 3 different Takuyas that are all like pretty good. It means that you don't have to run the stinky promo Flamon anymore, and you get a very good Flamon. Like that Flamon is like in fact so good that it sees play in the in the red base blue hybrid.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like the what I will say about this deck is that it can sort of be built in one of 2 ways. You can also build around the Agubon style of deck, where you run the Ancient package, but you're playing like an Agubon deck, and it's fine. Like I think the time of Red Hybrid, has finally like settled. I know there's people that are going to push the deck, and it will probably see results because of the sheer amount of people playing it.
Yeah. Speaking of people playing it, 7 Great Demons. It's like the new hotness right now in like Europe, but BT17, Ali Ace kind of donkey walks this deck, huh?
Yeah, Ali Ace is a large enemy, but I still think the deck is still like 1.5. Just because like majority of the metagame still just has like a lot of like options that you can do into the metagame.
It does also loop Ruin.
Yeah, it also loops Ruin, which is still just like extremely good. I'd say like it loses harder to the matchups it was already losing to. Because I feel like you were losing to Imperialdramon anyway.
Yeah, like your
But
tier 1 matchups will not get any better. In fact, they'll probably get worse. However, this is sort of like a waiting period for the deck because in EX7 you'll get Shoto.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of like this is probably going to be the point at which the deck feels the weakest, comparing it to like release Demon Lords now and then EX7. This will be the weakest sort of like the deck will feel.
I think it's fine at worst, but like you said, like 1.5, I think this is going to be another one of those, like, the purple tourists will have left this for whatever the new purple hotness is, which, I mean, there's not really much in this set. But like,
this is like the best purple deck still going forward.
Yeah, it's probably still. Mikazuchi is probably pretty good.
Yeah,
we'll see. I personally think that like 7 AG 8 AG Luger is objectively better still than Taki Mikazuchi, just because you have to win the turn you make it essentially. But we'll see.
We'll get to the deck eventually.
Yeah. Dominionmon.
£30. Actually, this isn't even. I would like to put it in £30 max rarity, but realistically, it's yellow, and like yellow cards are not. You're probably playing 30 for your like
your
ace.
These are £4 each.
Like the alt arts.
Yeah, the £4 each.
Okay, well maybe this is like
you get like if it was on Facebook Marketplace, they'd be selling a Mirai that comes with 49 Dominionmon cards as like bulk.
Yeah.
As packaging.
Give me a second. Is it in this set or is it in the next set that you get like a secondary wave of like angel support? Let me check. Oh, it's next set because this set is Sakuya, Pulse, and Shine. Yeah. BT17 though.
They get like an AncientGreymon, like level 5, that like it filters you a card security, and on deletion you heal one. So
yeah. This is a waiting period deck. Like there's the Patamon, the Luxmon. Like you're gonna get more better angels later on, and this deck didn't really do much. I think like it's sort of like a high roll-esque like Lord Knight deck where like, oh, if you see TK Patamon Emissary Domini, you're making a board on turn 2. But it's a super high roll deck, and I don't think you can afford to high roll when AncientGarurumon is around. We
don't have Dark Masters on this list, so are we putting?
Well, Apocalypse.
We can just
is this Balf? Like, because I wasn't sure if this is Balf Apocalypse, if it's Dark Masters Apocalypse, because like I would want to put it like down here, but like low key, Mill always good.
No. Paladin Ace. Well, just you've milled me to 7 in deck.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, is it bottom deck everything?
It's bottom deck either yours or opponents.
The entire drop?
Graveyard.
Hey, brother.
It's with true. I mill if is unplayable going forward.
It's also like if you mill them an ace and then they ace you, the ace is also cheaper because it's returning a Y7. Yeah,
I was gonna say like, hey, most of the Dark Masters colors can turn into Pally Ace, but like unless that's the freak new style is Pally Ace beatdown, like it's cooked.
I don't think the deck is like that bad. It is still like a knowledge check deck. Like good players are sort of like aware of like the colors of the aces that the deck has to play around, and like they might stomp new players just because like forced combat is really, really good. But the deck just feels like it's just not there. It gets super cooked by Nume. It takes a little bit of setup, and even as a control deck, there are better control decks in the format that have better payoffs.
I'm gonna wait for Derek to try and convince me to move this to a different tier because I'm not.
Oh no, Derek is on
Ultimate
What's
Chaos?
Derek playing?
Derek's on a pile of blue cards that somehow make Ultimate Chaosmon.
It's like Dorbik or no. Okay. Oh, is he on Dorbik? I think he might be on Dorbik for a little bit. In EX7, he's playing Shoto Mother.
Of course he is. He hates on this Digimon. Speaking of Dishonor, Blue Flare.
Deck's fine.
Yeah.
Deck's is whatever.
I mean, Blue Flare basically doesn't change. Like,
by the way, we should probably add like the actual tiers of the decks after the like tier 1, 1.5, whatever.
Sure.
Because we don't want to be like a Digi Slots who puts 0.5 as a tier. Like, what does that mean? 0.5.
There's no such thing as tier 0. There's only 0.5s.
Yeah, 0.5 guys. These are all the best decks at the same time, and you'll only see these decks.
You know what? The others are self-explanatory.
I don't even know how to describe Johnny slash Saf Johnny.
Because they're just like, the decks should be like, they're either the bottom end of tier 1.5 or top of tier 2. But I know that either of those two could wake up on a good day, and you know, let's like, now that these two are next to each other, does that make more sense?
That makes more sense.
Yeah, like they could wake up and go, you know what, I will sack people for 9 rounds, and they're gonna walk away with their Blitz Omni.
I'm glad we're skipping over Blue Flare. I don't really have anything interesting to say about Blue Flare.
Yeah, it's
indicative it got Veemon Ace, that's it.
That was like the last thing. It gets... Like, does it really get anything this set? Like, probably not.
No, but these guys...
I do want to highlight Theoboron, though.
Okay, yeah. Do you think it could actually go like outside of Saf Johnny tier, or do you think it is only like the deepest degens that are going to do something with it this set?
So, Theoboron is weird. Okay. I know Jem was like shaking his head, okay?
It's like his garbage!
Okay.
It's horrendous!
So on paper, Theoboron, now this is like its second wave of modern support, right? It has an alt-win condition, which, while cool, will never happen.
Nope.
On paper, you can build it in such a way where it's like an anti-meta deck. Like, the problem is that it's just not well positioned exactly against Paladin Ace.
That's fair.
So it's one of those where, like, if you dodge Pally Ace decks, you're cooking. You establish a Theoboromon plus the Ace, and you effectively win. That's the next win condition, is any Theoboron plus the Ace, and you just, like, you win that game state. You'll never get there.
Fair.
It's not happening.
It's just not happening.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it in this exact nebulous tier where you know it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be here. Yeah. It probably doesn't deserve to be here. But these two guys are gonna completely destroy like data analytics in Europe for a month.
1.5, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I will say, in my opinion, this will be the hardest deck in the format.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This deck has so many different avenues you can take every single hand. It is going to be insanely difficult to power this deck to perfection. But if you power this deck to perfection, you will win every single matchup under the sun.
There's a good thing I live with exactly the only person in the UK that has, you know, piloted an X Antibody deck to the extremes that he did. I have extremely high hopes for this deck. However, Scrambles mess that up a little bit because this was one of the better Scramble decks. Yeah. It was like super pivotal to the deck's like sort of like gameplay cycle of like having that Scramble assembled and like being able to play off the Scramble, just the lines of plays that it allowed you to do. The deck has a very high ceiling. However, while you don't have Scramble, you still technically have Demon Wolf of the Castle of the 9 Demon Wolves, Awuga, or whatever the card's called. The delay option. And that card is like, well, while nobody has Scrambles, that is the closest to a Scramble the deck has. I think people might change the tamer ratios to accommodate for it because like, the deck works on like very specific like memory thresholds, so you'll want like always the mem setter, and then like I think people will prioritize having the AGs out to get you extra memory, or like we might see a version of the deck that plays like more boost because the deck needs memory a little bit.
Most of us play like 3 to 4 analog as well, just because you need the names engraved. Also, having analog as just another form of interaction in your opponent's turn is incredibly pivotal into some matchups.
Yep.
So,
the deck is like extremely powerful. This is sort of like, you know, this support builds off of the previous support. Of course, that's assumed. Now, what I will say is that this deck, in the niches that the deck had before, in terms of like being able to like taunt the Digivolve pop, get a lot better here, and its kill clock is like a lot better. Like, the deck, it wasn't that it struggled to kill before, but meaningful pushes were sort of like sometimes relied on the opponent giving you something free to collision, or if they did, then collision would get in the way. Now that's not really the case anymore. The deck fights for board extremely well, at least on like the first turn. It's a great taunt deck, and its resource management in terms of like being able to play the Veemon is a lot better. Like you're not required to always have things in hand as much. Like you actually get to start working with the grave a bit more.
Yeah, and I mean, protection is something that, like, when Black X Antibody is at its best, is when it can turn into a giant, fully protected dickhead. Yep. And once again, congratulations to Black X Antibody for being the best Congo deck in the format once again.
Yep. I will also say that the deck has probably the best matchup spread into like the tier 1s and other 1.5s. Like everything at worst is a 50-50. And that's like, I say 50-50 in terms of like, oh, it's a skill matchup.
Yeah, and I'm going to trust the skill matchup on the side of the deck story player almost every single time.
This is like, if in my opinion, this is probably the best deck in the format that you could one trick on a decently good budget. Also, the fact it is just a tamer removal, it just has the easiest built-in tamer removal in the format. Part of it being its main combo is very good as well.
And it's again, it's one of the better. Like having the Digivolve on opponent's turn is extremely potent. Yeah, that's basically it.
This is a weird one because.
Oh, do you want insider info?
What on Eosmon?
Yeah. I got me and the Portuguese takeover. We were this was like.
What have you been cooking?
No. I will not say that anybody has been cooking anything, but in the same way that a certain individual was like, oh, what if I, caused the buyout on Promo Zubamon? As a joke, Eosmon was brought up as a joke. I will say, however, independently of that, as a little meme, shout out to the Portuguese takeover, it will happen. Eosmon just happens to have a good hybrid matchup.
Yeah, because it like won like several Evo Cups, right? Like early Evo Cups, I guess, before people figured it out. But like, ain't nobody watching that footage. It's gonna randomly sack an Evo Cup as well.
It's like
I think tier 2 is the.
I would say it's tier 2. It's a very niche like tier 2 deck. If your locals is like a bunch of like hybrid players, like Takuyas, Kojis, whatever, and even in BT18, this deck technically gets a bit better. But this is like a very, very specific deck. Like it's a very specific anti-meta deck. That's what I mean. It cooks hybrids, and then everything else is just like, whatever.
I think it's one of those ones that because people know that it's topped, like if there was only like one top, maybe two, I would sneak this in here because you never know when Johnny might just need a break from Theoboron. He's going to pick up his second love of Eosmon. But like, I think enough people know about it that it's like, people will get practice in the matchup, and then people are going to figure out how to not be on like someone's, oh my gosh, I topped a regional with Eosmon, 3,000 views.
Yeah.
That's actually the thing. It's like, I will not end up on your highlight reel. No, sir. I will not lose to Eosmon. But you may not have a choice.
It does have the world's worst Nume matchup.
Yeah, very much so. You just get absolutely fucking rolled.
Okay, how high does Takemi Kazuchi go?
I would put it no more than 1.5. Just.
I'm not gonna fight that. Y'all know I'm a D1 hater for FenriLoogamon. I get up extra early to shit in this dog's like cereal box.
It's worse than Dex, 100%.
But I think it's a worse purple deck. It has a really potent high roll. It's very uninteractive. It now has a different form of remover in terms of like DP minus, and it's not a small amount of DP minus, by the way. Like you're a lawnmower when it comes to like distributing that shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's like 24k minimum because it's
something ridiculous.
Well, on the Pulsemon version, it's 24k minimum because it's 16k, and then when attacking the Kazuchi mod is -8. So yeah, it's like 24 from just standard full combo.
My issue with the deck...
It's not lingering, though, which is the funniest bit.
Who cares, bro?
My issue with the deck is that, like, it has to play, like, more bricks. Like, to me, Luga never really had to play bricks. Other than, like, I guess you could argue that the Gatomons were bricks. Takemika has, like, okay, the deck has, like, actual bricks. Like, cards that are, like, effectively dead in hand. And like being a Jogress deck comes with its like faults. Like it doesn't really start swinging until it goes into Take. It also like it can sort of fight for board, but like your Fenrir is a bit worse. It's less flexible than other Fenrir, like old Fenrir you could play as like a tempo deck sometimes.
I guess I would like to see the like Fenrir players play like Fenrir and then just have like Taki Mikazuchi as like an effective blitz omni. Like you just pitch enough pieces through full combo that you can then just go, okay, I finish on 2, here's Taki Mikazuchi for game, like that type of thing. Obviously it's harder to drop the Kazuchimon because you'll be at -2, but I don't know, they'll figure something out.
I think it's sort of like your high roll is better, but like does that mean that the whole deck as a whole is better type of thing? That's how I feel about it. Like what Jambo said.
It's just like a big guy that threatens Oyful the turn it's made, but like sick. You go swing, you trash, you unsuspend. It's a single interaction piece. Oh.
Yeah, I could see it though in best of 1 format just fucking roll.
Well, okay,
yeah.
Like
that's probably why it put up results in Japan, because it was just best of 1.
Yeah, because you don't have to make the line, you just have to just ruin someone's day one time. It's like GG, sign the mat slip.
I will say that no matter what, the Fenrir decks, like whenever people doubt Fenrir, like it always converts at least like a couple of times. Like it's the kind of deck where legit like we had said, oh, this deck is unplayable in this format, the deck is unplayable in this format, the deck is unplayable in that format, and no matter what, it always sees like at least a handful of tops because of its like dedicated player base.
Barely.
People that but it sees more representation. Some representation is better than no representation.
Like it will sneak into top 16s relatively consistently.
Yes. But I mean, it's I'm putting it there just sort of like out of respect for the deck, but deep down I'm not like super impressed by it.
I mean, there's time to move it down to tier 2 later. Speaking of...
This is not a £30 like...
Yeah, you're right. This deck's too expensive to be 30.
No. Yeah, the deck is too expensive to be £30.
Tom's gonna show up in like 10 minutes. He's like, what the fuck is this doing?
But I don't think the deck is like that bad.
No, I think it's fine. Obviously, it's waiting on whatever the blue-red memory boost is called. But
Garnet, I think.
I'd say arguably the worst thing why I put it in bottom tier is that this deck's like main cool interaction now is that you're using your tamer that was misword reprinted to make 6s that you should not be ever making because it just cheats on evo costs. Like the EX7, what is it? Volcanicdramon that just nukes the board on evo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's like a toolbox deck at this point now. Like calling it like Grace Nova is dismissive of the deck's like ability to toolbox into different things.
Yeah, like we've seen Mirage top end.
But I feel like it just lost a bit of its niche now that the format is not going to be as centralized into like Magna X and decks that can produce Magna X. I think the deck just lost a bit of its niche, and
I also can't remember if this was a deck that liked scrambles or not.
I don't think it needed it.
I would say probably.
Well, one of the reasons that I think scrambles would be good is because there were some of the Grace Nova players were going on to like secret Gallantmon because you do get cleared a lot. Like as much as you can make like this giant like idiot that avoids deletion, but like your stack dies like so frequently, and being able to like at least like if you were on red scramble and you just get to put the Garurumon back on board and then suddenly you have a Garurumon that's sending you to 4 at start of turn is like an incredible way of boosting straight back up and making the second stack. Because before they were just dropping Secret Gallantmon in order to be able to play again. So I don't know. I think it's a deck that probably could have enjoyed scrambles and as a result is kind of in the shitter.
It's one of the best ways to think about this deck is also I'd say bad Mirage. Like it's a bad Mirage deck.
Yeah.
So, if Mirage is already like falling off a bit, then why would you play a worse version of that deck as well? I would be willing to cope it into like, and ironically, like £30 max rarity for assuming that that's like the tier 3 and, Brother Ooh is tier 4.
Yeah.
I would be willing to call it a tier 3 deck. maybe not even a rogue pick, but just like this is just like you're playing the deck because you spent money on the deck.
Yeah, that is fair. This is like Agu, like, is this supposed to be black or gray? Because it's black and red, but
I'm assuming that's like WarGreymon piles.
Yeah, I think it's WarGreymon decks, which are bad.
Yes.
That is like a bottom tier deck. That deck has no niche.
It's weird because like the Agumon Rush style of things are like very real. Like if this was representing Agumon stuff, it goes higher. But assuming it's Wargrey piles,
we'll do the classic. You know, like if you've been watching up until now, what should we tell the people to put in the comments?
You put your favorite thing on a playing card. Like give us like love heart, diamond, like spade or clubs, bro. That's how
all of them. Do all of them. Do all of the suits on a playing card. And that's like
do them in your favorite order, so that way people can't just go, copy paste whichever order.
Yeah, copy paste. Yeah, do all 4 suits in your favorite order if you've been watching up until now, and that's the secret password to let us know. Now, I will say that if I'll basically entertain the idea that the AncientGreymon can also be like the Agumon Rush, so we don't double up on things. So when you look at the AncientGreymon like icon, that applies to like Agumon as well, right?
Yeah.
Which is like fine, but this like Greymon, go up the stack, that deck is long gone.
Literally, there's so many decks that do the exact same thing and probably better.
Grace Nova,
Grace Nova, Ragna, as well.
Oh yeah. Like you want a raid, like big raid stack and suspend, like big tempo deck. There's so many other options.
All right. Losing is a choice.
I think this is the worst tier 1 deck.
No, this deck I genuinely think like
return to Primarch, bro.
I think it's this Nume and Ancient. That's what this can be the triangle of the format. I think.
How are you playing Ancient and you don't believe in your own deck?
What? I do. I just said they're all. I just said it's a triangle format.
All right, me and Jem are gonna beef for no reason, other than like the order on tier 1s. You think Paladin is better than Ancient?
Yes.
Why? Okay. I think Imperial is like the worst best deck because like it breaks so much.
Let me pull Return real quick.
Yes, you can read me Return. The problem is, does the Imperial deck have the time to play the Return in a timely manner against like decks that are like fucking like punching in the face, like Jujutsu Kaisen, like gang up, like
2. What do you mean? Do they have time?
But like, will they draw? The thing is, like, that card's only good when they're already playing the game, right? Like, they need to have 3/3, 4/4, 5, and then that card is good. And they also need.
Okay, Marcio. I take it back. I've just read Primogenitor again. I take it back.
Your Primarch starts going down.
I take it back. It's not. It's only deletions. It's not when we've the battlefield triggers. I apologize.
It's a great card, but the
it's
card
still
is
broken.
Very, very broken card. But again, it's only good assuming that you have 3/3, 4/4, 5, and at least like 1 tamer. Then the card's amazing. But up until you get that point, like I have played too many games against Imperial when it's like, bro, I was missing the 4. Bro, my Stingmon went rogue. Bro, no Daiken. So to me, Imperial is always the worst tier 1 deck. Because it abuses, still tier 1, but it abuses decks that don't punish it on like turn 1, because it has like turn 1, 2, it has like fuck all for removal. You could drop an ace in its face, and until they find their combo, they just can't challenge it.
Kind of raw, actually. I don't hate that.
Still, Paladin Ace is like a centralizing card of the metagame.
HeavyLeomon is in.
No. Hold on. Okay.
£30 max rarity.
£30 max rarity.
Okay. Does the new Leomon X save it that much?
Yeah, bro, that shit's crazy.
That really good.
Because now they have now attack step, the like EX5 Leomon with an Elecmon represents the Digivolve 2 minus 3k. You telling me that doesn't clear like 90% of cards?
So the effect is something gets on play when Digi, something gets -3. It has blocker, fortitude, and also on deletion recover 1. It's a really powerful card just because like
the recovery is an inherit, but yeah.
Yeah, still really good. And Leomon has like fucked up security, like between giant missile, flashy boss punch, tamers, delays. Like Leomon's security is like kind of scary. So like the recover 1 is actually like kind of real.
Right. You know what? Fair enough.
It's also like it is a really messed up like Digivolve DP minus deck. Like the way that you can like pick boards apart is like really, really good.
That's a really good Nume matchup.
It has a really good Nume matchup.
Yeah.
I would know.
And it's one of those decks where like there's dedicated players, but it's not the best players don't like play the deck. This would be like a deck that you'd pitch to like a certain Gil Bernardo, you know, like Yuxo, and you'd be like, oh bro, you want to cause a buyout? Maybe this deck. On paper, like, okay, against like the hybrid decks, you're probably like, it's a little bit stinky, the bounce kind of sucks, but into Nume, you're okay, Imperial, okay.
I mean, you'll probably be on unsuspend, because they probably won't be presenting something that sticks on board, so you might just get to like 2-check. But, yeah, defensively, you're at least you're in trouble, but I don't know.
But for the sake of keeping things like honest, I guess we can put in 30-pound max charity. HeavyLeomon can be more than like $10.
Yeah, that's fair. Is Levia representing purple good stuff? Because like Levia itself is still strong, but like.
So I think Levia's single niche in the format is just that hybrids are coming back, but it doesn't mean it's good enough to be played at an event. So I still think it's perfect.
I don't know. I just like.
No, I like hater Jambo. Jambo's like this deck's shit. This deck's shit. He's keeping
okay. It is. I'm sorry. It's like, oh sick, you hit a Koji. Oh shit, I'm getting one more check.
Yeah,
cool man. I'll make Ancient.
Levia X, like you just kill the tamer as soon as it pops out of security.
Well, yeah, but realistically, like, who's playing Levia and not Demon Lords?
I don't know. The other purple players that are like afraid of someone jamming into their security or something.
The brokey purple players that couldn't afford Demon Lords. That's
that or Demon Lords was too hard.
The guy who won with Levia immediately came off the deck the second they printed Demon Lords.
Yeah, but that's because he's a purple Taurus. Bro is on whatever the best purple deck is. There are some people that like, you know, alternate Digimon is not their cup of tea. They just want to draw one, trash one, and kill people in very short bursts. I will say
that Levia's niche is that it gets to tax people for playing things by effect. So you do, on paper, you have a good Imperial matchup because of like the Syakomons and the ability to just like, oh, you want to start off main play a rookie? I'm going to take like 2 memory away from you. That's like the deck's like soul niche, is you lean into the weird fish X antibodies and you have some source strip and you're
probably
like
smokes Nume as well in that respect.
Yeah, I think
it would go wide pop and then they float and that's like, platinum Nume gain 2, like words, Syakomon gain 2. I don't know. I think at the very worst the deck is fine. Like every time.
So go on. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say like every time that like we think Levia's bad, it just goes up and you realize that a card that pops 2, gains 2, and then hits you for 2 is just objectively not going to be a bad deck at any point.
I'll give it to you. I'll let you like cope this into like tier 2.
Not high in tier 2, but I wouldn't be surprised if someone that doesn't like the Demon Lord's playstyle is just gonna go, well, the next best purple deck is either Beelzemon or Leviamon. And Leviamon's way more consistent.
Doru and Take are right there.
They're hard or high roll. Purple
plays rough hard decks. That's the whole point of purple.
Some people like really easy purple decks.
You're right. No. He's kind of spinning.
Look, like.
Okay.
Fenri is like the kryptonite for purple players because they'll be like, oh, I love purple. And then Fenri's going to do them dirty when they need it most. If you don't like Demon Lords, you probably also don't like SOC box because that deck is half black. And yeah, the purple purists that are only playing whatever purple, they don't want to mess with no taunt. They just want to play a body, clear a board, and hit you for 3 checks.
Okay. I'll accept this. I think
It's the salaryman's purple deck.
Okay, you clock in, 3 checks, kill some guys.
It's like nice effects, bro. I ain't reading all that.
Give me 2 memory. All right, sure. We can move this in tier 2.
Okay. You defended Shakamon.
Okay. I'll put it in like 30-pound max rarity. That's where the deck.
That's what I thought.
Okay, but the thing about Shaka is that like there's like a few people that have like sort of like tried the deck for maybe like a locals or 2, and then like it's kind of high effort for a control deck when there's better control options. It's a very fun deck. Like this is an awesome like off meta pick or whatever. It just has like a few issues of like, you know, it's piece reliant. Its interaction is like good sometimes. It is a very good Venus deck. Like you can perma Venus lock someone. It kind of loses to like Digimon Emperor a little bit, which is weird to say.
Does it?
Because like because all of this deck's like main engine. Yeah, it's like Ukos, Muchomon, Floodgate Rookies, like so like you're constantly like raising your 3s, and this deck like the deck already passes like a good chunk of memory. Getting taxed is disgusting. So because of Digimon Emperor alone, I think like it hurts the deck a bit.
Oh yeah, I did put 3 down against someone at locals. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but the deck's fine. I mean, cool.
Right. I'm just gonna like housekeeping reasons. Let's just put
do we have to talk about these ones? I don't think we have to.
We can like okay, so
they got Flamedramon.
Okay, in my opinion, the order for like best decks is like Numegaru, Imperial Magna, based on like.
What happened to Imperial as the worst tier 1 deck?
Okay, exactly. Imperial to me is the worst one. I think Magna's better.
Yeah, I think they got Flamedramon, which means Blue Base now has a Patamon.
So what I will say about Nume is that it continues to have the tools for just about every matchup. And Quartz is really good in Nume now because of Gora. Like.
And hybrids.
And hybrids as well. So Nume continues thriving. Its matchup into like blue base hybrid is good. Into red hybrid is probably like evenish, I would say.
So I've been seeing builds floating around where you just go back to like the Venus mid-range kind of piles, because of the format we're moving into with hybrids, aces become a lot worse because there's nothing for you to taunt. So you'd rather just play a high impact 6 instead of a quirky little combo that converts into a high impact 6.
Yeah, I guess also she turns off when attacking as well as when digivolving, so it doesn't matter whether it's Ancient Garu or Ancient Grey.
Yeah, it's just on warps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the other thing. It's one of probably the only deck that has a warp hate rookie.
Oh yeah, Tokuamon.
Yeah, big ups.
My goats.
So because of that, to me, it's like, you know, the best deck continues to be the best deck. It has the tools for everything in tier 1.
Kokua Chikuri literally wins the blue hybrid matchup on the spot because they can't ever warp and they can't ever cast that option and get value. So
even if they wanted to digicross, it's like you can't. Like you're still paying 12.
Yeah, like you're paying 6 for Crimson Blaze.
Yeah, pretty much. I still think Nim is like the best deck.
Yeah.
It's gonna stay the best deck until they literally hit it.
Or like if Mother Shadow.
Yes.
Because that's
the Shadow Seraphi pile that's gonna come out is gonna be insane as well.
That. Yeah, that shit's crazy.
So to me, until something gets done about like Uko and like some of the problematic cards in Nume, like it continues to have like the best like mid-end engine. Like your 4s and 5s are so strong. You get to use always the best 3s, always the best 6s and 7s. Like to me, Nume is like the pinnacle of like Digimon deck building right now.
Yeah, it's 27 core cards and then 23 different slots that you can just flex.
Yeah, insane deck.
Everything in it is like Minecraft diamond tools, bro. They actually will never do you wrong at any point. They are always literally the best tools for the job.
Mm-hmm. Armour, though, I think the armor is like kind of cracked. But that's just me, I guess.
So I was also saying, it's we talked about it in the little set review, but Primarch.
How many?
Like I'm just saying, like if you were already woke and were on Imperialdramon as like one of your like level 5 techs, Primarch allows you to 2-cost evolve into a Magna X and still gain all of your protection because it is a
Primarch.
Yeah, return to primogenitor, bro. I'm going to Primarch. I'm picking up my jeans. I'm slipping them on. I'm picking up my top.
I was not aware. I was unfamiliar with your game.
Yeah, so because it's just evolving to any free type, and Magna X is a free type, that is a 2-cost evo into your level 6 now. Which before, you know, if you were on a Togemogu or thing for a suboptimal Imperialdramon stack, that's what you're making. Armor, you're always armored if you end up on this fucking level 5. So in theory, huge buff for that, where you have the protection of being able to turn into a level 7 should they try and remove you. So, I mean, it got a bunch of new tools, and even if you're not trolling, Flamedramon is broken as hell.
That's what I was going to say. How many more armor purges till you feel like you had enough?
The answer is never enough.
Never enough. I think, like, Flamedramon is, like, the sole... Not the sole reason why the deck is, like, still good, but it's the main reason why the deck still gets to keep its position, like, as, like, having, like, early removal. You're going back to having 2 level 4s that can contest the board early on. And also, like, burn, like, what? Why are we... what's going on here?
This deck need a burn. I don't think it did, but they were just like, yeah.
If you go first against, like, Numemon, basic example, right? This is how, like, okay, this is how I'm going to, like, workshop my, like, float chart a little bit. You go Veemon, Flamedramon, and then the newer player has to go, well, I can't really use this Uko because then I have to play on board, and then I'm giving them Flamedramon value. So I guess I have to Evo in the back. But if I'm Evoing in the back, then, like, I'm not spamming Ukos. Yeah. So immediately you make it, like, super fucking awkward. And Veemon giving you power and the Demi V, you can sometimes contest, like, random 5s.
Yeah, 7k is pretty cool. I'm saying if you're on Lightning Blade as well for the +2, that's a 9k body.
Oh, why did... I was like giving your deck, like,
no, I'm just saying
these, like, great things, and
9k is more relevant.
Lightning Blade.
No, I'm just saying it's 1 cost to make sure that security is getting picked up whether they like it or not.
You don't have the room for... You're, like, on Blinding Ray and Zubagon. That's the other thing, right? It's like, oh,
I don't even think people are on people genuinely... I was looking at some of, like, the DC1 like winning lists. People have cut the Zubagon because you just don't need it anymore. Like, Flamedramon represents so much extra burn that you don't need, like, your 2-check
No,
thing.
But you'll still play it.
I will.
Exactly, because you're intelligent.
I'm just
Blinding
saying.
Ray. Also, Awakening becomes, like, so much better now. Like, Awakening, like, Flamedramon Awakening is like, Baba Booey, you win.
Like, so with the BT17 Demi V and the BT16 Veemon, the fact you can just have an 8k level 4 that contests like Monze.
Yeah,
it's insane. Burns one. Amazing. And then if you're at free memory...
Sorry, Tamer Jambo. It adds the security to hand, so it doesn't trigger effects that would trash it.
Oh yeah, even better. It's like also like the fact you can like you contest the board and then you can immediately convert it into another armor name because you purge down is insane.
Also, it's half red. In a world, if you really want to, you can play Crimson Blaze and it's not troll.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
It has access to every color of 0-cost memory extension. You have HPD, Hammer Spark, Grav Crush, Blinding Ray, and Parabolic Junk. Just saying.
I don't think the game's ready, Andrew.
Give us a relevant purple armor and see me on my Jack Ray.
Funnily enough, for maybe I'll come back. Maybe, you know, like for the armor bros, like Magna X is really cool and all, but what if we took that out and we just played Armor Rush, like, you know, good old like BTA Armor Rush. I'm cycling through my names, you know, like. You
would have to be on the worst 2 weeks of AncientGarurumon for me to watch you fucking first egg reveal Demi V. That's how I know testing at your household has gone horrifically wrong.
No, but like the Flamedramon is so cool because you can play Armor Rush and you can play like the dual colored icon, and then it's like, wow, my cool aggro deck.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah. but no, like the deck is just like really good.
Yeah.
As much like waffling as we're doing about like a deck that we know is good, the deck will stay being good.
Yeah. Maste, we don't have Misao. Just like a straight up, as much as Tom wanted it to be a thing, we just
not Haze. I don't want to see you playing this deck.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 30 pounds because 30 pounds is like the
Okay.
Brother.
It's all right.
Yeah, I'd say above it. I'd say above it.
Jumbo, give us your most biased like opinion on the deck.
If you're not Haze, you shouldn't be playing it. I'm sorry. The amount of time you have to put on this deck to even get 50/50s in this format is insane.
What about Rapidmon though? Like, you know, BT2 Rapidmon. Shoutouts to Justice Josh.
BT2 Refer is kind of sick. The problem that I have is I think most people are switching over to Purple. And also, like we kind of said, Taunt is a bit more difficult.
It's bad. It's so bad. It's just people fucking whiff on Patamon once and they just hate the game. It's they literally have the best rule 3 in the game and they don't want to play it. It's infuriating. They have the card that says win the game on it and they don't want to win the game. Because they're like, it's not like true to Maste's core design philosophy. So I don't want to play it.
I think the main thing is that
cards in my deck. I want to make it hard for myself.
Not having access to taunt, like the RaijiLeomon and the protection was really cool, but like with hybrids running around and having fewer tauntable bodies, I think that's somewhat relevant to its success. Like I would love to sneak it up to hit, but I don't know. The format is less kind to it than it was before.
It's just like realistically, like how I think like Dex Doru is like a crazy benchmark for the format because like if you can't beat the deck that has the best matchup spread into the tier 1 decks, like do you have a place in the format? And to me, it's just like, well, Doru is just gonna eat you alive, bro. Like they're gonna take your Mirays, they're gonna digivolve your Mastes, and they'll pop your ace targets or whatever, or force you to collide. It's rough. I don't feel confident in Maste. But again, if you're a Maste coper, sure. You spent your money on the deck.
On the you spent your £30 each on Mirage. Fair play to you, brother.
Keep playing the deck. Keep doing the gods' good work.
All right, Mirage.
This is still like tier 1, I think. But like, people say it's tier 1.5. It's just me. But I think I still think this deck is insane.
If I open my mouth, I'll drag the deck down. So I'll let the people that believe in the deck like talk about the deck.
I don't even believe in this deck. I just believe in the longitude and latitude that we are cursed to live in. Like this right here, this is NA's problem. This is our fucking problem. And if people don't figure out how to play this, or BT17 is delayed, so they don't get as much time. Prices are too high. They're fucking rocking up with this dickhead again, and they're gonna just.
The way I see Mirage is the way I see Wu Hybrid when it first came out. It was like people would play the new stuff, but oh my god, yeah, this new format's so cool. And then later on the format, they're like, wait, why the fuck are we still not playing Brew Hybrid? So they just go back to Brew Hybrid and it would win a regional, and then everyone will be back on Brew Hybrid again. It's literally what happened in BT8 when Imperial came out. It was the funniest thing ever. But arguably, I just say with this deck is that like I've seen lists in Japan. I hate to reference Japan because I think the region's dog water, but I see lists in Japan. They can just play the Ancient bottom end.
Yeah.
You can just take slots away from your main deck and play like a small promo level Ancient package, and then guess what? You trigger your Mirage effects, and it's almost like you just got free memory to go +7. It's insane.
I think
it's just me though. I don't know. I think this deck is still going to be good. I think people are going to get bored of the blue decks that you kind of have to think for more than 2 seconds on every play. So they can go, oh, let me just go back to the deck where it punishes 70% of all total game actions. Oh, you have to draw a card as part of your main combo. Sorry, mate. I guess it's my go. Because they just make double Mirage Galga and the game's over on the spot. But that's just me. I don't know.
I will say about like Mirage is like as time progresses, it's less of a deck and more of an engine. We've seen people play like you could realistically play like a blue hybrid Mirage version. You could play a fish like package. You could play like a ace heavy package. Like it's a blue deck, and it has sort of like I think it's like the modern day like Greymon, where it's like it theoretically has tools for some situations. It's not like a what is it called, like a Swiss Army knife, where it's just like, not even a Swiss Army knife. It's like a hammer, like square block in the circle hole or whatever. You can't just do the same thing to every deck, but it's still like there. I think like it has a dedicated player base, and it eventually just like wins the game no matter what. Like it still has an oppressive floodgate. It has jamming. It has some of the best removal. Incredibly powerful security. So the deck is most more turns. Like the deck is always positioned to do well at tournaments because it has all of these factors that like make it into such an amazing tournament deck.
All right. Comparatively though, Omnimon.
Tier 2.
Yeah.
Tier 2.
I don't hate that.
This deck gatekeeps a lot of decks that rely on traditional interaction points because you just show them miraculous Mega Knight. Oh, sick, I can't play the game anymore because at any interaction point, you're going to Omnimon ace me.
I'll agree with Jamo here. I think like this is like the tournament grinder deck, like the guy that's just like, oh, this is like my deck for the format. I think this is like, you're playing this deck because you want to attempt to do well at a tournament. Like you're not, I mean, Omnimon, anybody that says Omnimon is not the coolest Digimon in the game is lying to themselves. But a lot of the people that are playing this deck, they're not playing it out of like the love for like Omnimon. The deck is like fairly linear. It's kind of boring, super difficult to play against just because of its like setup. And really what the meta is going to demand, like if you are a deck that plays against the Omni deck, you basically have to play past it. Like your deck will be like, okay, can I bait out the Omni and play past the first Omni? And that essentially your turns are going to have to be mapped out in a, like you have to tell yourself, okay, I'm going to get Omni here and then I'll be able to play. That's basically what the deck does, but it's a pretty potent deck. To me, I see it as like the Davis equivalent almost in terms of like do game plan, win game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can see it.
Rapid X. And is this Armour Vaccine?
I'd arguably say this is 1.5.
Oh, if this is Armour Vaccine, then yeah. We can grab some other decks from like...
well, no.
Oh, wait,
there's
no,
a Patamon. There's a Patamon,
yeah. No, this is just straight Rapid.
So this is just generic Rapidmon. I'd argue still say this is 1.5 though.
I think the deck is really good. I think people are underestimating the new tools.
The new Terriermon triggers itself when it's played by an effect because it's when just a Terriermon. Yeah, because it's when a Terrier is played. It's not when another. So it counts itself on resolution.
Okay, I misread it.
The new Gargos essentially is like, the new Gargo just floats into itself and then gets another suspend.
No, it floats into a Terrier, I think.
Yeah, it floats into a Terrier, which I guess is a Hammer Spark?
It's a suspend potentially.
Yeah.
Like technically, you have defensive, like you have on deletion defensive lines now, thanks to that Terrier. The most important thing, in my opinion, is you have like a really good tamer. Like
the Wilwish is pretty good.
Like giving the deck power was something that the deck like desperately needed. Like you'll be surprised like how much the deck can mileage to KDP because it makes everything just kind of like makes the deck take now. Your Rapid X being 13k is like really good. A lot of the times the deck would lose because you weren't able to apply the DP minus to security, and you'd swing a security, and then like it would be something bigger than like 11, and that would set your game plan back by like so much. Now being able to like swing a 13 is like night and day. The new pieces are really good. Technically, the deck has bits of like toolbox elements. Like you can play Magna X, you can play Cherubi Ace. Cherubi Ace is something that we've seen a bit more. Like Cherubi Ace plus the Rapidmon is like super powerful because you get to like Blast Evo, play out a guy, DP minus by let's say 4, and then the block, and then you get to block and apply another -4. And you're blocking with a 7.
Can you do Sparkle? Sparkle doesn't work over Cherubi, right? Like that's like the end of the conga line. You can't do like how Mega Gargo Ace could. But I mean, being green and black is still, it's not like the best color set. Like yellow black is still like objectively the most ridiculous
but you
like
are
ace
green,
color.
which means that you get to play Paladin mode.
Very true, very relevant. You know, whilst we were talking about the Gargos, I think we should talk about like armor vaccine.
I'll put this deck a bit higher. I'll put this deck like maybe below Dex, maybe higher, maybe.
I think yeah, probably around there. It's just like it got one new tool and it's exactly Shine Burst mode.
Oh yes, this is the best Shine Burst mode like deck.
Yeah, 100%. But the issue is just that like.
I would put it above like Doru. I think like Patamon is on a good like. If it high rolls, it's a tier 1 deck. If it has to actually play the game, it's a 1.5 deck, but it's still not bad. It's just people don't want to pay the forecast to Evo because it's stinky.
I think the issue is that the decks that it was already losing to got more cards to help with the matchup, and then stuff like Ancient is really good because both Tamers, just exactly BT7 Koji just gets around it beautifully because it always confirms the damage because it becomes unblockable. Sure, you can get the immunity, but it doesn't matter because you've already done the job of getting the damage done. So, Magna X is like really good when you can establish it and then it immediately contests every single Digimon on the board. But if there's no Digimon to contest once you have the Magna X, it's just like a big guy that's going to punch you 2 times. But every other deck is doing that as well.
Yeah,
but every other deck is doing that as well.
Sure.
I can't remember. When you're unblockable, does that mean can you still declare a block and suspend yourself? But just it won't be redirected?
So you used to be able to do that. It will come up a lot in exactly monocolor BT12 format when you be on All Force X into Boy Flare, because they'd make it so that you couldn't block, but you could still declare block, but the attack wouldn't get redirected. When Aces came out, they changed it so that you can only declare 1 block per battle step, and that if you are unblockable, you cannot declare the ability to block, which means you cannot be suspended.
Only in a Misplay for Game tier list will you get a ruling presented to you by Tamer Jambo. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't know that in that format, and it lost me so many Boy Flare matchups, and then I learned it when it was too late, and I felt like an absolute idiot.
Yeah, I was just curious because it would maybe make it so that the starter deck Rapid would still get some value because you'd be able to maybe like shrink the Mirage on like the first check or something like that. But yeah, I honestly am pretty happy with both versions of the vaccine armor being on other side. Where's the Bone Duster placing?
Hold on. The other thing about Terrier is like I think sometimes like Terrier players like don't believe in the deck sometimes, and like everybody else looks at the deck and goes, "Oh, this deck is like objectively like pretty strong." The only issue, the issue before used to be that you had a very hard time against like Magna X because it was just bigger than you and like you couldn't DP minus it. Now you have a very consistent source of power gain with the Willis, and that helps your Magna X matchup by so much. So to me, the deck is still like really good. Also, you have very good interaction against the Tamer decks because your Mega Gargoyle can just floodgate Tamers from evolving.
So also just like an 11k level 4 at turn 2. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Why are Royal Knights here?
Where's the Bone Duster playing? Because you know he's gonna be there.
I would put it at like 30 pound max rarity, but that doesn't actually apply to the deck's actual.
It's just worse Demon Lord.
Yeah, it's worse Demon Lord.
It's objectively worse Demon Lord.
Brother,
it's Demon Lord, except it doesn't have barely as much options.
Is this the format where they switched to being like blue base, like really blue base, because you go like ST Magna and security, a shitload of all force?
So this was on here because of Omnimon Ace. That's simply it. It got Omnimon Ace. It got Omnimon Ace exactly. They completely changed how Overflow works, so that Royal Knight babies wouldn't have to be like, oh, I can't play Omnimon Ace in my Royal Knight deck because it would overthrow 4, it would overthrow 5 at the start of my turn. So they changed how it worked completely so that they wouldn't cry anymore. But it's literally the only reason this deck is on here, I think.
It's the worst like Mega Zoo deck. Like I would say Davis is better because like Davis has interaction on the opponent's turn. Yeah. Shakon doesn't even deserve to go on the tier list. If you're still playing Shakon, like, what are you doing? You get cooked by, like, so much these days.
This deck's garbage.
This deck is stinky doo-doo, pee-pee. No, it doesn't even deserve to go on the tier list.
No, but it is. It is. And you know that there will be someone that's on it. And big ups, Pete. He's gonna rock up. He's gonna come back out from his mountain in New York City.
My thing is that there's genuinely, like, no reason to play the deck anymore. Because, one, it's like, okay, I'm gonna deck you out. Okay, Palias, reload my deck.
Let's go again.
Let's go again. Oh, I'm going to, like, my security is really strong. Bounce, burn, ignore. Like, you genuinely don't care. I'll ace you. Okay, you're like the weakest deck to play aces because all of your aces are incredibly telegraphed. And you don't have a way to, like, force combat.
You just reminded me with Pally Ace and Let's Go Again. The other reason that Knights is, like, reasonably real is because you can early Omni now. So now you switch to, like, Leopardmon, play Omni, blow up the things, and then you Pally Ace over one of them, reset all your King Drazel, and you just do that fucking thing again. Like, it's no longer, like, it's like a real thing where you just, like, Tom reminded me that that is a thing.
Get out.
No, it's real.
No.
Get out. We're not doing this.
I'm just saying, though, that theoretically, the mini game can be much shorter because they can commit to a, like, turn 3 or 4 Omni and then just Pally Ace and do it again.
No, it's not the 1 time, the 2 time, the 3 time, the 4. No, it's not.
All right.
The deck is doo-doo.
What's Marcus doing?
I genuinely don't know how to categorize this deck.
I want to put him up here. I believe in Shine. I believe in Shine so hard.
It's pretty good. But if we're moving to best of 1, Shine's always going to have the problem it's always had.
Oh, I know exactly where it goes. It goes in Johnny Saf. It goes in Saf, Johnny / Latam.
Yes.
Yeah. Come to Brazil!
Marcos! Boca! I mean, the deck got new tools. That's awesome. To me, this wave of support that the deck got is like the wave that the deck should have had. Like, the BT12 stuff should have never come out. That first wave of, like, modern Shine support was awful in terms of, like, card design.
That was a red deck.
That was our deck. After that, they were like, oh, we can make, like, a deck that, like, you're using your Marcus alongside your guy, and, like, this builds on that fantasy. Unfortunately, the BT12 stuff is going to win you the game 90% of the time.
Dude, it's so sad because they gave us a new Sakuyamon, and all that's done is gimp Terry's results, because the new Shine and the new Shine burst mode were made in a lab for Terry, and he's gonna be dicking around on Sakuyamon for fucking 3 months or something. We're just like, Terry, please.
Terry, please.
Got backache, please.
It's like fucking Marcus, like, he's doing the meme. Terry, don't play the plugin, Terry.
Turn off the water.
Terry, no Rikas!
Yeah, I would love to, like, it is the Latam tier because they're actually gonna play it. Like, this could be the Terry tier.
His ass. They love this deck.
The deck is good. The deck is fine. Like, the deck can play in 2 modes. It's like, oh, nothing to contest? Sick, bro, whatever. I'm gonna dome you in its game. Oh, you gave me a board to clear? That's awesome. I'm gonna live my power fantasy of just, like, clearing the whole board, DP minus, swing into here. The deck has piercing now, and, like, technically the deck has actual good protection now, and the lay card is fine.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it's like, so the new Shine, like the new just normal Shine, is like deceptively good.
Yeah,
it's
like,
very good.
Like, you have to know how the card interacts with other pieces of support to know why it's good. But it's just a vanilla towers. That's all it is.
Basically, like, the way that I'm going to play deck now is, like, you start playing early on, and, like, you end your turns on Shine, on, like, ShineGreymon, like, level 6, like how the deck used to be. Like, you're doing all of your heavy work with, like, your 3, 4, 5s, and then you're ending the turn with a 6. And then it's, like, basically, like, it's like Q&A with your opponent. You go, oh, if you swing, I have a blocker, and then that can trigger this, or I can ace. if you try to pop me, I can put the card into my security. I can trigger the option. The option is also like good, but there's no room for it. That's kind of like the issue.
Yeah, I think the deck's sick. Gallantmon is also a thing. I mean, they at least don't have to worry about fitting the option card in, because that shit is ass.
I'd be if you had scrambles, I'd be excited for this. But
does this count for like Henny? Like, because
I don't think Henny wants to play this.
No. I think Henny does. This is like the new wave of support is like really good. It's actually like really good.
The new Crimson mode is insane.
It is the definition of the strongest soldier. Like you do need Henny Heat to see this thing in top 16 or higher.
Okay. In my opinion, I think that most of the new cards are like really good. Like your egg is really good.
Yes.
Your
pre-release all-star.
Your 4 is really good. Your 5 is amazing. Oh god, your 6 and 7, like you basically just have to like.
Okay, I think the new Takao is the best bit of support.
Oh, the new Takao is crazy.
Oh, that in card is mental.
It's so good. It does get hurt by the fact that you don't have scrambles. That's kind of shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, the deck's whole viability when...
It's not even just scrambles. They lose Mega Ace as well.
Yeah. Well,
but...
played it.
Some people probably did.
Some people did.
It's like a 2-of, I think.
Yeah, but now it's a 0-of because your ass is waiting until Christmas.
I mean, yeah, but the whole point is that you can just, like... You have the new Takao, you play it for free, you go to 1, you get to warp up your Guillemon, and then you get to Blitz. Yeah. That's the best line you're going to be doing in this new set, I think.
I think it's real. I
think the deck is very good. I think there will be people that will try to push it. You have a good Nume matchup now.
You've always had a good Nume matchup, though.
Sometimes it was kind of rough, but I would say yes. You typically had a good Nume matchup. Your Tamer matchup is kind of not very good, man.
Trashing as replacements is always as good. So
your Imperial matchup is okay. You're gonna leverage the fact that you're unaffected. Like that's the main thing. Like you're gonna bait bad Imperial players to go counter timing or progenitor, and you go that's cool, bro. I'm unaffected. Like you're gonna have to get really good at like being at like 0 memory and just like making sure that like you're always playing a 0 memory to just constantly be like unaffected, and you never get scammed by aces. And that's your niche, is that you just don't get scammed by aces, and you have like a built-in win con.
Yeah, I was.
The option's horrendous though. That card's the worst designed card in the set.
I don't know why it costs 3. Even if it costs 2, it would still be probably the worst of the movie ones. But it costing 3 is just diabolical.
I would be willing to put the second Latam tier, like.
Yeah, but
for engagement.
For engagement.
Yeah. Yes.
It just keeps getting bigger. It's just actually, you know, we just call this the one trick tier.
Yeah, but
no, but this is like so funny. This is like so much funny. Okay, every person that we think of, we
every one trick we had it.
Yeah, exactly. You can put Yuxo there, right? And then you can put Kiki as well. Who else? What other like one trick? Well, H is playing like a 1.5 deck, so it doesn't really count.
If Harry doesn't win a regional this season, I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
They gave us best of 1, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's Harry.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is so sad. I think the deck is like not.
Go on, Marcel. I'll let you cook. You've clearly played this deck more than me.
It's on paper you have like the tools to make like a deck that like works, but then it's basically like, oh, you know like you clean your glasses, you adjust, you know, like you blow the dust and you go, and then you go, oh, I'm just a worse Luga deck.
Yeah, but you could also still play Shroudmon Beatdown, and the Boutmon lets you go into that shit for 0 now. Like the whole thing was, it's like, oh, Shroudmon costs 5, bro. That's so difficult. And like, word, what if you had super decoy that was also super barrier, and then you have barrier on everything anyway. So like, you can now actually play that like 3 edging game by just bouncing back. Like you could just barrier and just go straight back.
Sorry, the 3 what? The 3 edging? Whoa.
Yeah, bro. Have you seen how many swords he owns? There's at least 3 edges there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the deck is fine.
I think the deck is fine.
No, down.
Okay.
£30. £30.
So,
I'm gonna buy my Weons at £5 each. I'm going like, damn, this is a really cool alt.
okay, no, hear me out. You're green, and green is objectively a sick color, so you get to like interact with things, and you know you get to like clear the little shits around you, and then like get rid of the main guy. I think you just play Takemikazuchi and without playing like Fenrir, and that's just your level 7. You have the ability to like expand the board a little bit with Shroudmon. Like if you go like Climbmon, play something out, and then you put Shroud on the thing that you played out.
Yeah.
One of the things that the deck is kind of missing is Shiva Ace, in my opinion. Shiva Ace. It doesn't hurt the deck too much, but it would be nice for the deck to have it.
I think the option as well. I'll give him that. The option's very good.
Yes, the options are very good.
His Pride.
The like impulse memory boost version 2.
Rocker Pride? Whoa.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. I don't think the deck is like super hot garbage, but I think the deck is like it's cool. It's a cool deck.
Yeah,
I will say I was gonna say the Leons are independently good for yellow hybrid.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, I'll give him that.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I will buy. I'm only getting all our pulse ones if they are £5 each.
Let me turn my light on really quick.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, whilst he knows that the last thing he disappears.
It's for him. It's for him.
Oh, we're here.
Right. Where the bugs going, bro?
I'm on Marcio's side. I think this deck is fucking awesome. I think this deck is good as shit. I think this deck is good. I'm actually agreeing with Marcio. I think this deck is actually amazing.
Okay. So I am like the biggest hater and the biggest fan of this deck. The deck is going to be significantly weaker, and I mean like by a lot, than like BT17 JP. It is a massive deal that we don't have Shiva Ace and we don't have Scrambles. We still have the promo, and the promo is an amazing card. Like that card is really, really good, and it keeps the deck relevant. However, you now like lose the ability to have like a prime target for like the promo is really good because it's an amazing card for you to play out of like your Tyrant, and then you Shiva Ace on top of that. But you don't have Shiva Ace anymore. The evade is like amazing. The evade is like so good, like so sick. And you also have like all turns burn, which will help with the deck's like kill clock by a lot. You still have a good Nume matchup. Your Garu matchup is probably fine. Like realistically, like your worst matchups are like Imperial, decks to an extent, and like the armor decks, but you can kind of build around to mitigate some of those.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, never mind. I have the Forbidden Sauce for Gora. I woke up one night in a cold sweat, and I messaged Harry, and I was like, oh, I know how to beat your deck now. And he was like, please don't do that. Don't tell anyone. And I'm like, for 2 weeks, I will not tell anyone. And then I'll open the floodgates.
Bro, it's not even been 2 weeks. Our shit is delayed.
I can DM the card that beats the Gora deck in bugs. It's very specific, and it has seen results. There's results with the card out there. You just need to know what you're looking for. I think the deck is at worst tier 2. Only hurt by the fact that like you're missing 2 pivotal cards. Had we had Scrambles and Shiva Ace, the deck would be solidly 1.5. I would probably still be on the deck, but my motivation to play Tyrant is at an all-time low. The deck is fine. Like, are there better green decks?
No.
Probably not.
I mean, I guess if you count Terrier as green.
Terrier, yeah, technically. Alliance is not bad. Alliance is like something we should highlight. There's a couple of things that we haven't put on the tier list.
Yeah, like Ragna's not on there. Like,
do you want to go grab them? Do you have the file in there? Do you have like the icons? Sure. If you go to the tier list, like.
We got it off East.
Yeah, this is
but like
curated one.
I think it was like a week where Ragna didn't top Japan. To be fair, that's a common occurrence. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can go find the images for them. Like, I've got a whole card pool of shit. But yeah, like what? Alliance, Ragna. What else is there?
Sakuya.
Why is Veemon not on the tier list? They got a new Pokemon promo.
Oh, Digimon also got a.
I'm the biggest All Force player, and I still don't know fucking play that deck. Jesus. You tell me they print Ancient and they print All Force support in the same set? Bro, what do you think I'm playing? I'm not playing All Force.
Okay, surely there's like extra things, right? Like there's. Can we not like add more things?
Yeah, I can. Dude, I'm just putting the first things I could find because I cannot be bothered to download the new images. So, but
Right,
bonus, Ragna, Sakuya, Alliance.
I can go grab. Let me see if I can find other things.
It's fine. Like people will know what they are.
Okay.
Can we put the Q and Terry tier? Can we just have that? Can we make a separate tier for Terry tier?
And where would Terry tier be?
Like so where Saf and Johnny is, just slightly.
Is it slightly underneath?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay. So the most obvious, and this is like we've said this like at this point like 7 times, and that's the fact that this is the coolest scramble deck.
But guess what?
There's no fucking scrambles. We should make a tier. Oh, I got it. It's like if scramble was legal, that's the tier that these decks would go in.
No scramble.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, no scrambles.
No scramble. Right. Sakuya is like so sick, man. Like the deck got like everything that it could have wanted, and it's getting even more support in BT18 with like the Dynasmon line of support. The deck is like, yeah, like the deck has the tools for everything. You have lingering DP minus, you have deletion protection, bounce protection, barrier. You can play plugins.
The activations.
Huh?
When Digivolving negates as well.
Yes, you floodgate when Digivolvings. You have blocker, security minus. You fight for boards extremely well. Where the fuck are my scrambles, bro? Like that's so depressing.
Where the fuck is my value engine?
The deck like would operate in the sense.
Well.
Oh yeah, shit, yeah, they do lose Made Modus, which
yes,
was
that's
real.
The thing. The thing that the niche that the deck would have was that like you were a deck that would constantly trade stacks with the opponent, but you would outvalue them and eventually like stabilize and win. But you can't do that anymore. Now you have to play like a bad stack deck. I'm sure people are going to play the deck and like the tools are like objectively like really really good. I would put Gallantmon in there, I suppose.
You're gonna take Latam. Oh wait, no, Latam's fine. Goodbye, Henny.
And just like that. Yeah, like the Sakuya is just a sick deck, man. But its viability, like, it's still the deck is still fine, just not as good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Ragna is fine. It is fine. I mean,
that's your lane king. I know where I belong. I am not Ragna's strongest sword and shield.
Yeah, the people thought we were crazy for putting it in gatekeeping tier, and then it went on to gatekeep to the highest degree, and nothing has changed. We're not missing Garnet. It's just not. It was simply just never meant to be. I think it will still do all the things it did before better, but the tamers are. I mean, one thing that's pretty cool. Those tamers aren't popping out of security.
That is true. You're right.
That is true.
Those kids are dying.
But it's more just like once they've established the engine.
Yeah,
it's hard to break the loop.
It's also like they're not tauntable. It's a matchup that you can't taunt. And just generally, somehow the format's gotten faster again. And Ragna like really needs to be like peak pace, and I think that will hurt it.
Stabilize every turn.
I will probably be on it for 17. I shouldn't be, like, but I probably will be.
Digimon literally exists.
Yeah, I know. I am just saying, you know, if Tom's case doesn't have 4 Flamedramons in it,
it will. We will give you
play 4, play 2, which is a correct ratio.
I wanted to be on 3, but
it's like Runic Fountain in Yu-Gi-Oh! You play 2, do what you put it to 2 to make it so that you have to play 2.
Okay, so what we're talking about, like with the Ragna, yeah, the deck's fine. Like you're the Ragna guy, you still believe in the deck. Like
Yeah.
Again, I think it's really funny that we were like, I don't know, man, these Ragna cards are kind of crazy. And then people are like, and then it takes one fucking idiot to do it, right? One fucking guy.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the community is like, oh, but like, I can't play the deck because promo Zubamon. Oh,
like, damn,
should have bought them. You should have bought them when we told you to.
That's not why he's won, because he had the promo.
It's like, because he made an investment. He didn't even make an investment. He borrowed that shit from his seed.
I think it was so funny. I was like, oh, he must have not played into Nume. No, he played 5 Nume. He played like 4 Nume. Oh, okay, he must have got really lucky. No, he just knows the matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He must have like.
He flipped the matchup on its head.
He must have cheated. Yeah. That was my favorite one.
Yeah, he must have cheated.
I will say the thing about Ragna though is that it suffers from. It's not that the deck has a particular high roll. The deck just kind of wants you to like have its game plan established in the first like 15 cards in the top like 15 cards of your deck, not counting security.
Yeah.
Like, if you do not like find your game plan, your ways to search put you so far behind that like the way you want to think about Ragna is like, okay, establish game plan, and then the bonus effects like the draws and the searches, those are for the follow-up plays to do it again.
Yeah.
Not for the first time where like, I was missing a piece.
And that's the, like, you kind of talked about, like, Imperial being, like, the worst DNA deck. It's still got, like, the same problem. Like, I would, like, if you, same philosophy, it would go up here where it's the worst one because it, sometimes, like, Harry said that at the case tournament, one of the games he lost, he dug, like, 15 cards deep with 3 Ludos and Duranda was on holiday. Like, sometimes you are just missing the DNA piece and you lose, and there's nothing you can do about that.
This deck is, like, the worst offender for that exact scenario.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know. Same philosophy. Like,
I still think it's in tier 2, though.
Yeah, like, it's in theory here, but, like, realistically, it is, like, top of tier 2, because it just, every so often, you just lose, like, you're just missing the one sword, no matter how, it makes you almost want to put the 9th Mega in your deck. You're like, I should not do that. And we probably should not spend too much time on Alliance, but...
Oh, there's, like, Alliance, and there's, like, there's Alliance, and then there's the other deck that I wanted to highlight was like the Argomon deck, but that deck is like a nothing burger deck.
That deck is in Brother.
It's not even Brother. That's like £3 for a playset of the alts.
Yeah, and like the cool thing that I will say about that deck is that you can play with the Mummy engine, like the Arukeni and the
sickest bit about that deck.
Yes, that is the coolest thing about the Argomon deck. Again, it will give you the information here now. You definitely have these fucking commons and rares, and they are really cool in the Argomon deck. Anything more than that, you know, whatever. The deck is dog water.
Let's fold those hybrids, bro. They do go sideways, and they do not unsuspend.
Trubby, I think Trubby's like a tier 2 deck. I don't think it's actually that bad.
Yeah, no, I think it's fine.
The new Until is crazy. Oh, sorry, no, this is a scramble. This is a scramble deck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. My one take about Cherubi is that they got the new Susie, and it reads like the most broken tamer you've ever read. It's a search, and it cheats on Evo costs every time you declare Alliance, and the deck still isn't good.
It's like the craziest custom card of all time, and I don't know. I think some of it's the player base.
The Antilla 2. The Antilla 2 is like...
Yeah, they got a second one that's just crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so the actual thing about Alliance that it's another deck that got shafted by scrambles. This was something that I did not realize, which is that like the deck could actually play on start of turn timing. Like you'd go start of turn scramble, play the Lopmon, suspend itself, trigger the Susies, go up the chain, pass the opponent like 12 memory if you really wanted to, and then you'd go start of my turn, I'll set my memory to 3, and then you start the game with like a level 6 and like two like level 3s or whatever, and you're like playing the game again. You can't swing with those bodies, but like you're constantly like making bodies. The deck lost that niche. Now it's like
fair,
better Bloomlord, I suppose.
Yeah, you're gonna have Tommy declared Alliance X6 on a single stack, and it's like, yeah. Cherubi 29k 7 checks. It's like, oh, cool, man.
So let me read the Antilla really quickly. It's green or yellow, level 3 from the trash. So what it does get is that it gets the ability to loop the very old like Lucemon to like recover +1.
Yeah.
So that's a bit easier now, and like that's a premier like Alliance target. So I would put it in like exactly no eggs for my scramble. Like it's a deck that suffers from the loss of like this very awesome card that we just don't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with this list. I'm sure people will be very normal about it in the comments. If you are tuning into this bit of the video and you want to know, because some of you really enjoyed the Baba Booey being incredibly shameless about skipping, do it again. Drop your Baba Booies in chat if you skip to the end here, because yeah, attention span has rotted your brains. And whilst you're there, go check a YouTube short or something, because you might as well. They're really short.
I don't have any house chores to do, so I can't put this in the background.
Bro, aren't you still like unpacking?
Unpacking my emotional issues to my therapist, maybe. I mean, new setup. I'll probably have like actual like things behind me now, which is neat. Jam didn't know that I moved.
Yeah, because you didn't tell me.
What do you want me to tell you? Oh, yeah, bro. I moved house. I actually, yeah, that's probably
last week.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably like a normal conversation that friends have amongst each other, like telling each other like things that are happening in their life. Not fucking me though.
No, Marcio, he's already podcast
We talk about Digimon cards. That's all we talk about.
Now, Marcio's too podcast build. He saves all of his major life updates for the internet. Because otherwise, what's he gonna talk about on the podcast? Oh, these guys already know. I mean, we were there. We know you move. But yeah, thanks for joining us for the tier list. This will go up basically tonight for members and soon for not members, because
just to like extend the video here, I swear we didn't miss anything, right? Like 100%.
I don't think we missed anything relevant. Yeah. Like we didn't.
Let me double check. Because like
Bargra, Fish, fucking like Ultimate Chaos, like those are decks that exist, but you know, we just be padding our brother.
Let me see. Gabubond, whatever.
Yeah, I guess like we kind of talked about them when we talked about like the two ancients, that like the bonds have a new identity thanks to the ancients, but they're both relative to where the ancients are.
Phoenixmon, that is doggy. I've been saying this for the past month.
It was like good for exactly one format.
Yeah. Whoa! 2 formats, okay? Let me.
Oh, 16 and EX6 is the same thing. I'm good. I'm.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right. Let me one more. Hold on. I'm quickly just like making sure. You know, like I want to make sure that the YouTube comments have nothing to say like about exactly the decks that we missed out.
Okay. The one guy who's like, oh, the new Falcon promo saves Ravemon. It doesn't. It's still like. It's like the worst purple deck you could ever play.
It's a very funny purple deck.
Lilith no, she doesn't have Lilith X yet. So like Lilith
is unplayable.
Yeah, Lilith is unplayable.
It is. You queue into a purple deck, you draw your 5. I'll just show you the Paladin Ace now. We can just go to game 2 now if you want.
Let me see.
Yeah, and the low tier god engine is
Gabubond. I guess like we talked about Gabubond in like ancient as a variant.
Yellow hybrid. Deeper brother.
Who the fuck cares about D-Brigade, bro?
Yellow hybrid, probably.
Deva.
No.
Yeah, yellow hybrid. We talked about yellow hybrid with like when we talked about Pulsemon, kind of.
Yeah.
Yellow hybrid top.
Like.
Yeah, I think. Like it had like a thing here or there. Like, and ironically, the Leons like help.
Yeah, because you get recyclable tamers, and then also like have more yellow hybrids that aren't limited to one.
I know in early builds of blue hybrid, people on one hacker judge because it was with a minor and Cabal inherited Memser, so it just got value that way.
All right, we can wrap it up. We could wrap it up here. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, pretty content with the list. Yeah, let us know what you think about it in the comments. What would be your 3 changes? Where would you move them? I don't want to see like 5 changes. I want to see 3. And remember, if you skip to the end, Baba Booey. Those of you that didn't, y'all know what to do. The podcast is probably gonna be live now once Tom shows up. So yeah, we'll see you in like a bit. Lol.